President Trump has just 48 days left in office, and while he's been publicly keeping a lower profile and refusing to concede the election, behind the scenes, his administration is racing to solidify his legacy, fulfill campaign promises, and overhaul dozens of federal regulations that could take the Biden team years to undo. Our Devin Dwyer reports from Washington.
It's a sprint to the finish for a president hoping to leave a final mark. Even as he refuses to concede, Donald Trump is reshaping policies and disrupting government norms to the very end.
I think that there will be a lot of things happening between now and the 20th of January, a lot of things.
From immigration to environmental protections, Trump is pushing 11th-hour rule changes that could last for years.
We call them midnight regulations. It's the last chance to put these rules on the books before the Trump administration changes to the Biden administration. They can be reversed, but not easily.
Nonprofit news site ProPublica tracking 36 major pending regulations, with even more expected before Trump leaves office in January.
The Obama administration actually, depending on how you measure, had a little bit more than in the past, and so we might see that again.
They include religious exemptions for federal contractors, looser efficiency standards for shower heads and washing machines, and stricter eligibility for food stamps, even as millions out of work in the pandemic look to the government for help.
I think the final days of an administration are obviously hugely important, and it's just natural to want to get things done.
Carol Browner ran the EPA during all 8 years of the Clinton administration and was a member of President Obama's transition and first climate czar.
There were some things that we did want to finish up. But you're not free to just do it willy-nilly. There's the law, there's the science, there's the process. A lot of his midnight regulations are focused on the environment.
This EPA effort to ban the reliance on any scientific study that doesn't fully disclose all the raw data, right? Why is that so problematic?
We will simply not get the quality of science that EPA needs to make decisions. And this is a very, very intentional move on their part, on behalf of polluters, which is to limit the science and therefore limit the ability of EPA to make the smartest decision.
Browner says a rush to auction off drilling rights in the Arctic, strongly opposed by President-elect Biden, is especially high stakes.
The degree to which the leases have been entered into, you might have to buy them back. But hopefully the reality is we can continue to protect these areas that have been protected for hundreds of years now.
Raise your right hand.
And there are new moves on immigration. In his final weeks, Trump adding 8 new questions to the citizenship test and trying to make it harder for high-skilled foreign workers to get visas.
In this last-minute rush before the inauguration, Trump administration is doing everything they can to bring legal immigration closer and closer to the bare minimum, ramping up enforcement actions, and really trying to do everything they can to kind of like finish checking those boxes and make it as hard as possible for the Biden administration to rebuild the nation's immigration system.
The president also racing to withdraw U.S. troops from Afghanistan, and last month formally ending the Open Skies Treaty, and a move critics called a gift to Putin. It had allowed U.S. and Russia to conduct mutual surveillance flights to build trust.
Russia didn't adhere to the treaty, so until they adhere, we will pull out.
Some of Trump's actions will have permanent impact, like the rush to perform more federal executions before President Biden has the chance to put them on hold. 8 federal inmates executed so far this year, the most in more than a century, with 5 more slated before Inauguration Day.
The pace of these federal executions has no historical precedent. The last time you had more than 10 people executed by the federal government in a single year, you have to go back to Grover Cleveland's second presidency in 1890.
The president also giving executioners greater flexibility in how they kill.
The regulation will allow them without challenge to use whatever method of lethal injection that it wants to use.
Meanwhile, the president is continuing a record number of lifetime appointments to federal courts, breaking with 123 years of precedent by confirming more judges after losing re-election.
Generally, once an election occurs, confirmations stop until the next Congress begins. It's hard to know the impact right now exactly that these Trump-appointed judges will have, but we know it's going to be big. It's going to be huge. It's going to be generational.
Some of Trump's final acts face challenges in court. And if Democrats win control of Congress, there could be fast-track repeals. But experts say many changes won't be easily undone.
You have to go through the whole rulemaking process all over again, which takes multiple years and a lot of resources and is, cumbersome by design.
A reminder, the power of the presidency can make a lasting impact on America up to the very last minute of a White House transition. For ABC News Live, I'm Devin Dwyer in Washington.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.